What are you sick of being romanticized or being portrayed positively? Poverty. It's always some family that is struggling but lives in some rundown apartment that is merely small and not modern, but is heated and furnished and always has some amazing view or rooftop access that makes them feel the world is really theirs for the taking. Nope. Unheated rat-infested roach motel with dangerous neighbors and a view of a fire escape. Cut electric. Cut heating. Dinner off saltines if anything. Poverty is absolute crap and can be a death sentence to your health and sanity. Yes, it's like a Hollywood fetish to create a poor family that is super functional. One kid is super talented in something and the whole fam recognizes their gift and protects them and supports them. Also, they are all the perfect weight, not too thin or too fat, and dress in the best fitting retro or hippie clothes. Chasing a girl boy who doesn't want to be chased, and then making them feel bad for not wanting to be with you. If someone isn't interested, then it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Don't harass them. It's not a good look. In rom-coms, the protagonist always chases his crush ex and refuses to take no for an answer. In the real world, those types are provided with restraining orders. Terminal illness. It doesn't open your eyes. It doesn't give you a better outlook on life. Most of them are horrible degenerative diseases that scrape away people's lives bit by bit until they are ghosts of their former selves. This hits home. Dad died ugly. Blood clot after months of chemo. Face frozen in a rictus of pain. Mum stroked out brain dead. Eyes wide open. Drying out because she didn't blink. A living shell. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Maybe positively is the wrong word, but it's certainly portrayed as quirky or silly a lot. I've seen this on social media a lot. OCD is not quirky at all. My intrusive thoughts are mostly about violence, harm, like wanting to hurt someone I love, really disturbing images, and like if you don't do this, you will go to heck sth like that. Seeing how it's portrayed as silly quirky is infuriating. Guy am so OCD. Growing up in the hood. Sure, the story of triumph and making it out is great. But losing loved ones and friends throughout your childhood is a miserable and traumatizing experience. Not to mention the poverty and daily uncertainty. At 25 I finally escaped a generational cycle of poverty. That year my brother was murdered. It doesn't even matter who I am anymore because I'll never be the same without him. As an adoptee, someone discovering that they were adopted and then venturing off to find their real parents, and this leads to them finding that thing that was missing from their lives. I've known that I was adopted for as long as I can remember. My real parents are the ones that raised me, loved me and nurtured my thirst for knowledge. I've had some contact with my biological mother but have only some ethnic elements as points of commonality. Never had any contact with my biological father and have no pressing urge to reach out. I wouldn't refuse him if he sought me out, but I have my own life and admire both of them for having the self-awareness to know that neither of them were in a good place to raise a child. I was adopted at 15, but in the foster system since I had been 11. It was unexpected, but when I realized how different life could be, I made the choice. Even then, if adoption is mentioned I might be asked about my real family, which is still annoying even with late adoption. If I have to talk about my biological family, I call them that, but they are not my real family. Starving artist. Starving is not pleasant no matter what causes it. People don't just want to buy your work but buy into a projected lifestyle that you are playing out for them. Cancer diagnosis and its treatment. We are not all strong brave warriors and insisting we act like we are. To assuage non-cancer sufferers' fear of our diagnosis doesn't allow us to safely process the trauma we are experiencing. Please stop. My best friend has glioblastoma. She was at the cancer clinic a few weeks ago and was texting me about all of the "be brave, you got this" toxic positivity plastered on every wall, table, everywhere. She knows she has months left, if that. She said that for the patients who know they're dying, all of the messaging is just adding insult to injury. ADHD. It's not just having tons of energy or being quirky. At best, that's only the very, very tip top of the iceberg. I was only diagnosed at age 27, and until receiving diagnosis and treatment, it was a major source of severe anxiety and depression. Made school 1000x more difficult, and dang near got me fired from my job a couple years ago. A common symptom of ADHD is actually fatigue. That's something a lot of people really struggle to understand for some reason. And the memory issues. Frick me, those are the worst. I actually used to be afraid I was getting early onset Alzheimer's before I found out memory issues was also an ADHD symptom because of the way it affects working memory. I'm tired of movies, books portraying people who just want some alone time as needing a whole life-changing adventure. I just want some time to myself and avoid other people's BS. Not taking a day off, or not utilizing your sick hours. People genuinely enjoy the grind and perceive being tired and sore as a badge of honor. As an American who moved to Europe, I can say it's a very different mentality here. For starters, 5 weeks of vacation, paid paternity-maternity leave. There's much more of a focus on quality of life, especially in Scandinavia. I hate when people romanticize serial killers or criminals. The whole free them they're cute is so wrong. Also think the whole celebrity thing is kinda weird. A girl falling in love with the bad boy or rebel guy and thinking that they can change them. There are too many shows and movies that portray this and think that this is a healthy relationship, but in reality it's not. It's a toxic and abused relationship that many women fall victim to. Also, it's always portrayed as the bad boy is the passionate one and the guy who is nice is boring. Not giving up on a boy girl. Dude, he said no, like twice. Give it up. It's not cute or endearing to keep trying. At the very least it's unhealthy. At the worst it's criminal. Rick Astley in shambles. LOL, the nerd girl having to change her whole appearance, just take her glasses off to be hot and then have the popular guy finally acknowledge her. I love Cloudy with a chance of meatballs because it does the opposite of this stereotype. Here in my town, everyone is me exposes toxico saying that their spouse is toxic but they love them. Or I am married to a toxic person. I see stickers on windshields and give me a not very good feeling. I guess cause I was in a toxic relationship and it doesn't feel good for someone to go and brag about it like it's a good fun way. Did I answer the question right? Mental illness. It's not mysterious or charming or a source or troubled genius. It just sucks. I'm so freaking broken I don't know if I'll ever be okay, and every single day is a massive battle to even function like a normal person. Even my ex-wife acted like I was just lazy and full of excuses cause she had depression but she still did stuff, and she was the person closest to me. Yet Hollywood will have you believe everyone with mental illness is secretly a troubled genius just looking for love or a child or whatever happy ending they are trying to sell, leaving out the lifelong struggle that probably followed the credits. Unnecessary risk taking. That HBO show about the middle-aged surfer just having to do the giant wave one last time even if it kills him or paralyzes him and leaves his children fatherless. They portray it like he is this hero but he is stupid as heck. Doing stuff like that is so stupid and not heroic. Women going back to work immediately after childbirth. Skipping out on parental leave is not a sign of how hardworking or motivated you are. The Joker and Harley Quinn as a life goal. They're both psycho, abusive, ugly, and only kids or depraved adults would idolize them. Depraved adults, yes. That high school is the most fun or important time in your whole life. It's not. There are better things in life than pep rallies, prom dresses, the number of advanced classes on your transcript, and SAT act scores. I wish I would have relaxed more and not taken everything so seriously. Funnily enough, that would probably have raised my test scores. Agreed. TV and movies make it like high school and college are just some sort of endless party, but reality sets in and that's anything but. Especially if you aren't as extroverted as 30-year-olds playing teenagers. The majority of students don't even wind up living at a given college and spend more time commuting and studying than they do partying and hanging out with friends. Social media influencers. I've never seen such gross vanity on display in my life prior to Instagram and TikTok. It's so shallow and meaningless. The fact that they call themselves influencers is hilarious to me. It's like admitting you're running a psyop to their face to get them to do what you want. Reminds of The Simpsons when the Navy recruiter says superliminal, "Hey you, join the Navy." Eating disorders are romanticized heavily and it's terrifying. I've almost died and so have several of my friends. It's not glamorous when your organs are failing. Being a pushover. It's not a redeeming quality. The only people who glorify it are people who benefit from using others. The idea that if you're single you must be lonely and need to be in a relationship. That and the damsel in distress thing. Unless someone is in actual danger then you can save yourself. You're stronger than you think. Serial killers. Stop giving them cool names. They are monsters. Just call them stuff like Jack the Cracker or Mommy's Boy. Don't give them more power, it's sick. I mean, to be fair, most of the names are descriptive. Some others are given to raise awareness of them. The name Golden State Killer was coined by Michelle McNamara for this purpose when Joseph DeAngelo was still unidentified. Clubs. Movies portray going to clubs as the best thing ever, and you get this idea that you're supposed to like them. But eventually I realized that I'd rather clean up dog crap in the local park than go to a typical club. DID, aka dissociative identity disorder. Between kids on TikTok, movies, TV shows make it out to be so cringy and cool. It's a disorder that arises from severe trauma. You dissociate into different self states because that's how your mind adapted to the severe trauma you faced. You dissociated to take on the trauma. It's not something that should be romanticized or displayed as cute. Dissociating into a different self state can be scary and very vulnerable. As a survivor living with DID and CPTSD, I want awareness brought to DID in a respectful and dignifying way. Some psychiatric professionals don't even believe in it, and people who have DID do not get the proper trauma-informed help. Not only DID but mental health conditions in general. Depression, bipolar schizophrenia are not an edgy or cool trend. True individuals who have these conditions and spread awareness properly are awesome individuals, but people who spread misinformation or fake conditions are not cool. On TikTok they call psych hospitals grippy sock vacations. Being inpatient for mental health is not a vacation. It's anything but. I've been inpatient and have obtained trauma from the way I was treated. So yes, stop romanticizing mental struggles because they are not fun and cute to live with. Romanticizing mental illness. Many creative people have had a mental illness, and there's nothing romantic about it. Think of the writers who killed themselves. Think of the artists who lived miserable lives. Suffering is not beautiful. I don't know if this has been said, but those news articles about how sick people couldn't afford their treatments but their community came together and helped them pay for it, or people losing their homes, cars, teachers needing supplies etc. to avoid talking about how severe of an issue poverty and infrastructure is. Possessiveness. People getting crazy because they're jealous. Been through the reality of that crap and it nearly killed me on multiple occasions. Having unplanned children. Especially when you can't really afford them. That crap ruins lives and makes kids suffer for their parents' mistakes. People fighting or being a fighter with cancer or other terminal illnesses. People don't die of diseases or choose hospice because they are quitters. People who choose to die with a focus on comfort and quality of life should be labeled fighters too. They are just fighting for something else. Positivity. No matter the level of crappy consequences. The choose your mood attitude shames expression and free speech, and in my humble opinion, creates doormats that are more than happy to put up with foul treatment from others that benefit from their docile, positive acceptance. Why can't people be disappointed, angry, hurt or upset? Pursuing someone endlessly after they already said no. It's not romantic, it's borderline harassment and it's really weird. Don't do that. PLS. Celebrities. People are so enthralled by following their lives and articles, shows, movies that they think they actually know how these people are in real life and will straight up get defensive if you say something they don't agree with. For example, my friend is so obsessed with Kim Kardashian that she buys all her crappy crap and talks about her like she's some profound and original businesswoman. She tried to get me to buy her stuff, but I don't worship celebrities like that and told her I'm not interested in anything she is selling, and she straight got pee about it. That argument literally almost ended our 2-year friendship. I'm so freaking fed up with celebrities and celebrity culture. Frick them all. Handing off your possessions to younger siblings as a sign of growing up. No thanks. I can be an adult and still cherish my dang bear. Lol, I'm 28 and still have some of my Pokemon plushies. IDK, but I still can't understand how people like the Paul brothers, Kardashians, Kanye, James Charles, And all those vanity freaks are famous and have fans. I mean, something wrong is happening, but I still can't understand what. From the dawn of times, narcissists were able to have a following. Touching others inappropriately without consent. I've seen this normalized way too much, especially in communities with younger people, which really worries me. Yes, doesn't matter if it is a male or female, it's just wrong all around. Tell it like it is, people. Folks who try to put people in their place, based on their interpretation of how life should work. Too many times people in the workplace act this way. Toxic. Eating disorders. It's always romanticized. The media portrayal is always a fragile, skinny, tragic teen girl. The majority of us aren't even underweight. It's such bulls. Even when anorexia, bulimia are explored, they also rarely show the havoc they wreak on the body, teeth, skin, eyes. It's always just a variation of Cassie from Skins instead. Being sick, going to the hospital, working in the hospital, being a doctor, being a nurse. It's not fun, it's fulfilling, it's stressful. We give up a lot of personal life for it. We make money, yes, but there are hordes of administrators both inside and outside of the hospital whose literal job it is to decrease our pay by any means necessary. Now we have to deal with misinformation campaigns designed to profit off of people's healthy skepticism and unhealthy social media habits. FSCKU Facebook, FSCKU alternative medicine booksellers and supplement salesmen. You harm people. Yes, COVID-19 is real. SARS is real and it's a horrible way to die. People die alone, afraid, unable to breathe, or sedated on a ventilator without so much as a final goodbye thought or dream for the world. And yet people have the nerve to blame us for the fragmented system they created. Well, guess what? If nothing changes, you'll die an abrupt, or painful, or very, very expensive death too, and have no one to blame. It's not fun, it's fulfilling, it's stressful. We give up a lot of personal life for it. We make money, yes. As a pharmacist, it's not even this. It's just pure heck. These backstabbing vote you out of my house island shows. So now we glamorize being a piece of looser human waste of oxygen? I wonder why people hate everyone else now. LOL. Blindness. We are not ninjas that can kick butt in the middle of the night. We do not have super hearing. We are forced to listen to the world more than sighted people so we don't fricking die. Which, in America at least, is surprisingly easy to do as a blind person. Being called mature for your age when you're a kid. Growing up too fast isn't a badge of honor. It's a sign of parental neglect, parentification, and it damages them all their life. Trauma doesn't make kids like that strong. It hurts them. If they did become stronger, it was achieved on their own. And it's a painful process that is nowhere near positive. Autism. I don't care what's shown on The Good Doctor or whatever. Many if not most of us are not savant geniuses and having terrible social skills. Hyperfixation and the associated loneliness would not be a worthy trade-off. Even though I am high functioning, it has been, and still is, a struggle to be normal. And while I don't want to be seen as dumb or incapable of independence, being born this way is not fun or quirky, and if I could restart my life and be neurotypical, I'd do so. Thanos snap. Just like that. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.